Hey everyone, this is Matt, the Fireside Atheist. My last video, I told you a little bit about my story, about on the journey and all that, how I started out as a kid, the good Christian boy going to church, but how I slowly just didn't want to because I was growing up. I didn't want to waste time playing. I wanted to waste time playing. I wanted to have fun playing and not waste time in church, and how my atheism was helped along by being forced to go along, to church with my dad once he got remarried, and all the other fun that stuff involved. So in this video, I thought I'd touch a little bit more on what it was like around that time when I first came out as an atheist. I was an avid reader as a kid. I still am. And of course, when you're an avid reader and you want to know stuff, you get books, lots and lots and lots of books. And one of the first books I grabbed was The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins. It was part of the documentary on the Unbelievers with him and Lawrence Krauss. That when they were going around the world, in Australia, parts of the States, ending in the Reason Rally, the first ever Reason Rally. And just seemed like a very, very, very good book to start out with, So, but when I'm getting ahead of myself here. But like I said, I grew up in a one-way kind of mold family. My family was either Christian, evangelical Christian, or Mormon, which is my mom's side. And that was all anyone ever was. They were Mormon, Christian, and political stances, they were Republican. And all that entails the whole birth control is, no birth control, abortion is a 4-letter word. You give money on Sundays because that's what Jesus would want. And, Jesus knows all and all that, I always found it funny that if God was all powerful, why couldn't he handle money? Honestly, he needs to ask for ours. I split up with my faith and came out as an atheist and all that. I started reading the books. I mentioned earlier that, in the last video, that my mom, while treating me the same, still had the traditional response, you can count on with, "You're an atheist," kind of thing. She didn't like and didn't believe, what I was saying and all that. When I, because when I read, The God Delusion during my work lunch break, because I get out of work lunch break, I didn't say anything to her. I didn't see anything to anyone else. I didn't say, "Hey, everybody, I'm reading this book now. It is awesome. You should check it out." But the very next time I went over to my mom's and all that, she was, confronted me, for lack of a better word, all that, and the subject came up out of nowhere. "Was this, I hear about you reading, a book called The God Delusion?" It's like, how judgmental can you get, obviously, that, it's like, you already knew I was a black sheep. You already knew that I didn't believe in this. I'm just reading books about what I believe in and finding out more, What I didn't mention is, not my fault you only have one book, where you get all your answers. That I have thousands upon thousands of books, Not my fault you guys can't open your minds. But that's part of just the whole judgmental thing that I've had to get used to for over half my life. From politics, being the only liberal-minded person there. And it's not hard to be liberal-minded. All you need to do is think that women have a right to to choose what to do with their own bodies, to have an abortion if necessary, or, you know, whatnot, or have access to birth control, or that you should be, you'd be allowed to have a tattoo if you want. You know, it's just, I was always the black sheep of the family, and this just was really the final nail in the coffin. That it's one thing to be liberal, one thing to be Democrat, but how can you be atheist? Oh my God, the world is coming to an end. Please, Jesus, touch my son's life and spare him and save him and blah, 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 blah. And the usual bullshit that entails. Of course, it's nothing compared to, like I said, my mom is accepting of me, loves me. I mean, I like it, and it's like swallowing a pill made of cactus spikes. But she still loves me for me. She just doesn't like it. Won't like it, won't pretend to like it. My dad and my stepmom, on the other hand, I can't even bring it up. I can't talk about my beliefs over there because I'm just not accepted for who I am. It's obvious by the way I'm treated. My younger brother, the second oldest kid in the family from both the first marriage and the second marriages, he is literally the prodigal son, the shining example of what a good Christian conservative boy should be. I mean, I love my brother to death. I would do anything for my brother, but he is the chip off the old block, pedestal, example that why can't you be more like him? It's tough. They love me because I'm their son. My dad loves me because I'm his son. I know he loves me. But I can just tell I'm not respected at all. And how tough that is for me to deal with. To feel like out of my dad had 4 kids after he got remarried, and he had us two from the first marriage. So my dad has 6 kids. No, my dad's not Mormon. But he just seemed to repopulate like bunnies after they got remarried. But I didn't follow the mold. I didn't follow the kind of person to become the kind of person he wanted me to be. I didn't stay in the church. I didn't have the same viewpoints on religion. That's why I don't go over to my dad's, except for like once or twice, maybe like 3 times a year. Just because the family discussions make me angry. I go over there, immigration's brought up, and I hear the biases and the racist remarks about Islam. Now, I'm not a Islam is the way kind of thing, but I can still look at the picture and say, these people are human, just like Christians and Mormons. They're human. They deserve our respect as humans. The mother who's carrying her son hundreds of miles to try and get to the United States for a better life deserves to be treated with respect. I mean, a woman who does that can live next to me any day of the year. I'll take her and her son any day of the year over a Christian who pretends to be compassionate and caring, and at the same time saying, "Say the hell on your side of the border." It's like, it's tough. It's tough for me when I'm supposed to be the absence of religion, but I'm the one who's left feeling like I need to defend that religion just because I'm trying to do the human thing, the decent thing. just more black sheep of the family kind of nonsense that's being forced upon me. I mean, I'll gladly do it. Don't get me wrong. I'll gladly defend anyone, as a human right. It's just funny that an atheist in my for my family has to be the only one who is open and tolerant. And it's in a way that helped cure some of my early beginnings. I used to, like I said, when I started out, my dad forced me to go to religion. It was a family thing. Church, it's a family thing. It's a family thing. Family, have to go as a family. So when I was 16, guess what I did? Got my job, and I said, please work me Sunday mornings. Please work me Sunday mornings. That way I could tell my dad, can't go to church, gotta go to work. See ya. So finally, after 5 years of church bullshit from my dad, he finally realized that he couldn't force it on me anymore. I guess a couple of Sundays of me sitting there next to him with the expression of this is fucking bullshit, on my face, and venom in my eyes, that they didn't want that in church. They didn't want the reputations to suffer and all that other stuff. So it was just that's part of my background and all that. So like I said, that being forced to go to church for years and years led to venom. Against. So not only did I not believe in God and I was against religion, but I purposely was hostile towards it. I was kind of an extreme atheist in the beginning. Anything that insulted religion, I was all for. Anything that put down and made Christians or Mormons or anyone else look stupid, I was shouting at the top of my lungs. It was not it was a reactionary response, but it was a response typical of someone who had the chains on them for their whole life, and finally, broke off. Like I said, I was born in 1989, and it wasn't until 2012, 2013 that I realized I was an atheist. So, do the math, over 20 years of my life, I was a young man before I finally realized who I was. I had just left college, so 23 years old. So it was tough. Being the black sheep of the family is hard enough without having an extra vile venom towards religion. I had to slowly calm down. Nowadays and today, I still preach, for lack of a better word, against religion. I still explain, still talk about it, but I don't have the anger that I once did. Luckily I've let that go. I've been able to let that go. I will, it's kind of like their mantra of hate the sin, love the sinner. Okay? I hate, dislike, choose your term, religion, but the Christian, the Mormon, the actual person, I will do my best to, I respect and care about as a human being. I'm no better and no worse than any of them, and vice versa. So that's, it's just a long journey there. I still read my books. The God Delusion was like one of the first I ever got. I bought God Is Not Great by Richard Dawkins, The Fighting God, An Atheist Manifesto by David Silverman, a former president of American Atheists. I've bought several Richard Dawkins books. I tell you, I love his work. Blind Watchmaker and The Greatest Show on Earth are two of my favorites. I even have his autobiography, The Brief Candle in the Dark, just because I wanted to know a little bit more about him. Breaking the Spell by, I think Daniel Bennett, I think. And one of my favorite books on religion, God, the Most Unpleasant Character in All Fiction by Dan Baker. This just cracked me up laughing about it. In fact, I want to read just a little bit, things about it, like in the racist category, just little things like, that summarizing it to kick out all foreigners, shun, interracial marriage is a great evil. No, I can't even pronounce these books in the Bibles. The Nehemiah 13:23 to 30. And other books, other things like 7 genocides in 13 verses. One of these days I need to do a video of just this book here. I think it'd be funny as hell, or informational as hell. Anyway, that's a brief little bit on the black sheep and all that, and a little bit how it affected my family. My mom, in the beginning, was unsupportive of me a little bit, as she struggled to deal with me being who I am now. My dad would never accepted. In fact, I don't know if I've ever fully, outright proclaimed to my dad, this is what I am. I mean, I imagine that he has to know what the Atheist logo looks like, and it's firmly displayed on my arm where I can't cover it with a sleeve, in a tattoo. So I'm an activist, personal activist. I wear a t-shirt with the logo. I wear the tattoo. I want a necklace with the, I recently that I haven't gotten yet. But I've only begun my journey, even though it's been 8 years. I still feel like I'm just beginning. I've always been, like I said, always been the black sheep. Always been difficult to make my way in my family. I had to get married to find my ideal parents, to find the father figure I always wanted. I got my dad, I got my stepdad, but I had to get married to find the dad I would have chosen for myself if I could have designed one. I'm so lucky I have my in-laws and my wife, my in-laws. They have been the supportive family, that I've felt nothing but pure love and acceptance. It was like a drowning man breathing air after, being underwater for so long. Just that breath of fresh air. Like feeling sunlight on my face after spending a lifetime inside a house with no windows. It was amazing to find a feeling that I never thought I'd find again, or ever find, for that, should I say. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. I'm doing my best. I look at other channels, like Mr. Atheist and Telltale and others, just going, how the heck do they, they get so many subscribers in a so short of a time. Maybe it's because they put their face in their videos, and I'm still uncertain how to do that the best way. Plus, it's not gonna be the best, best quality, because I'm still learning video editing. I'm not a brilliant thinker in that regard. It's hard for me to figure out how to make computers work. smoothly like that. I can make things work smoothly, but when it comes to this extra creating stuff that's not in the everyday thing, it's a little harder for me on computers. I'm learning slowly but steady, but it's just a long path. But I'll take before I can actually be finished. So yeah, please subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it because I would appreciate the feedback. I have an email address now, thefiresideatheist, all lowercase, all one word, @gmail.com. If I'm an open line. If you want to ask me a question, if you want to suggest something for how I can make my show better, how I can do something, I would definitely appreciate any advice, any constructive advice. Hell, if you want to just say you're doing a good job, keep up the good work. Thank you very much. It means a lot. So, this is Matt at the Fireside Atheist signing off. Have a happy New Year, everyone, and till next time. See you later.